are now walking in the Hertz world. You are now walking into Hertz world. Aye.
Discussion that we need to hear. Topics they be scared to touch. Parties say we do too much. Hurt, I think they scared of us. Meaning this is filled with hits. How you turned up like a jit. You are now in Hertz world. If you love her, had your chick. You are now in Hertz world.
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 It's a new year. Time to start that business you've been talking about. Let BTM Business Solutions and Social Studio help you out with virtual office services like co-working space, business formation assistance, conference and event space, and content studio rental, which includes a fully equipped studio. Log on to btmds.com right now and sign up for the email list to receive codes for $25 off virtual office services and $15 off conference and event space and studio rentals. Need more info? Call 901-490-7995. BTM Business Solutions and Social Studio.
And then it should be an option in the little black box of what a video is to go full screen. Bring it over here. Huh. Maybe don't do it on the iPad. I don't know.
It don't do it on the computer for me neither.
Yeah, it do. That's how I be going in and out.
I don't like when you put them on stage and then you like this how you it's just you and that person.
Let me see.
Okay, and then
Right, but you see you see where you clicking in the box in the black? It should be an option so where you can expand it to full screen.
on screen, y'all, it's an option.
Yeah. Well, because I know on the iPad, I know on my MacBook, I can expand it to full screen. So it may not give you the option on iPad. Okay, we'll make it work. Just pull it closer, I guess. Yeah, that should work.
You want me that wide? Or you want me to come
That's fine.
closer?
Yeah. Yeah.
You sure y'all want me to make it small?
Whatever work. I don't care.
What do you want?
No, I ain't picky. That's cool. Yep.
Whenever you get ready to start, count down, intro. You already recorded.
All right.
I'll pop back in here.
Okay. All right, Kim, go ahead and mute yourself real quick. And y'all know how we do. It's me, the Big Hurt, and you tuned in to Hertz World, man. Season 5, episode 15. And you can see, well, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see. If you're listening to it, we back in the studio, man. I had so much fun last week. I said, why not go back and let's do it again? So we are recording live from BTM Studios in the heart of Whitehaven. Shout out to Keisha for the space. If you did not listen to last week's episode, shame on you. Like, it was our very first live studio episode, and the numbers did crazy. If you did not listen to last week's episode, you probably don't know that we've officially eclipsed 50,000 downloads as a podcast. So that's major, major, major. We're going for 100,000 this year. So continue to tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend about the great things that we are doing at Hertz World. Just want to thank everybody that tuned in to the live show last week. Shout out to Big Fine Jones for coming through and kicking it with us. Shout out to De'Erica, who was in the studio, Keisha, who was in the studio. Shout out to cousin Ray Ray for joining us remotely. So if you have not listened to the live episode, go back, stream that. If you watch it on YouTube, do it that way. However you want to watch it, just go watch it or tell somebody else to watch it so we can get them numbers up. Because at the end of the day, that's what we really want. This week, it is a new year. And of course, every new year, there's always those people that are, oh, it's my year and it's a new year, new me. And of course, I like to talk about them people. But this year, I decided to turn a cheek. Instead of talking about them or talking about y'all, I'm going to give y'all a series to help y'all. So this is part 1 of the series of helping y'all become better in 2024. So stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. You're listening to Hertz World. Welcome back to Hertz World. I am your girlfriend's favorite podcast host, Big Hurt. And if she says I'm not, that hoe a liar. So becoming better in 2024. Everybody is running to the gyms and they're, on these new diet plans and these, meal prepping, and they have these affirmations and vision boards and all that good stuff. And all that's great. If you're going to stick to it, because a lot of us, and I ain't going to say y'all, I'm going to say us, a lot of us, have these goals and things that we want to do. And by month 3 of the year, be like, man, you know what? We'll try again next year. But this year we're gonna try to change that. It's 2024. It is affectionately called the Mamba year. So, of course, the 24 for Kobe. It is our Mamba year. So this year, we're going to, here at Hertz World, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help myself while helping y'all. We're gonna get our life together. So I got 2 magnificent life coaches this week, and we're gonna sit down, we're gonna chop it up. They're gonna give you out tips, tricks, get y'all together, or get us together, so we won't be making these unrealistic goals and all that other stuff. So I'm gonna shut up and let them introduce themselves. We're gonna get straight into it. So come off mute, tell the people who you are.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. First and foremost, congratulations on 50K. I am Kim. I am the founder and CEO of I Am Kimspirations Coaching. I am a certified life coach assisting high-achieving professionals achieve maximum satisfaction in life. So I use a person-centered approach. So that means there's no cookie cutter. I help you fix your life the way you want it to. I am so happy to be here.
I appreciate you for coming on, because I feel like you gonna drop some gems. And last but certainly not least,
how you doing? Thank you for having me. My name is Jerry Davis. I am the owner, CEO of 5D Coaching and Speaking. My mantra or core principles is to be focused, be accountable, be strategic. I'm also a fellow podcast host myself. CAP Podcast, Cultivate, Accumulate, Prosper, with my co-host Erica Jackson, who also is a life coach. I'm a published author, have 2 books, 5 Dimensions of a Man, 5 Dimensions of a Man Reloaded. Congratulations to you having 50,000 followers and everything on your podcast. Trying to get there myself. I just started mine last year, so next month I'll make a year.
okay,
And with me, I help men and women just to, like I said, with those core principles, be focused, be strategic, be accountable. Because if you're trying to do anything in your life or attain any goals or anything, you got to be focused. Then you got to be strategic. If you're not moving with the plan, you're just moving. And then you got to be accountable to those that you serve, and first and foremost, be accountable to yourself to stick with it.
very well said. I told y'all, when I go out and get people to come and sit and talk with us, I don't be half stepping all the time. Like, I usually get, my people and my friends and stuff. But, when we go get folks, we go get folks, we swing for the fences. So let's get straight into it. 2024. I know a lot of people are, setting fitness goals. They're, trying to start their business or, obtain that generational wealth or start whatever, start that process. Ms. Kim, you said you work with professionals, high achieving
high achieving
professionals.
professionals.
What is so for all of us that don't know what that means? What is a high achieving professional?
It is that person who has a 9 to 5, maybe an entrepreneur. You have a job that you go to every day and you excel in everything that you do. However, there are certain avenues or certain aspects of your life that you feel could be better and you may not be 100% sure how to get there. Then that's where I come in to help you.
Okay. And Mr. Jerry, you help now. Do you mainly focus on the male perspective, or you just kind of, all over with it?
I mean, I can help both genders, but I do. My specialty niche is with the fellas. Me being a man, me being a black man in this society, but it's all about everything starts with the mindset. Whatever your mindset is, you always hear the term product of my environment. Well, I think a lot of times that can be so, but I think you're more so a product of your experiences. No matter whether you came from the city, the country, 2-parent home, single parent home, got children, no children. So now I find out where you are, what it is you're trying to do. And just like I did when I played ball and when I've coached sports, when I used to work in the school system, I help you get together a game plan, and then I hold you accountable for executing the plays you need to make in order to do what it is you're trying to do.
Okay. So it sounds like both of you individuals set realistic goals or, things that the person wants to achieve. And then the one thing that stuck out to both of y'all said is y'all hold these people accountable for, what they're trying to do. I feel like, so, and I'm just going to speak on me. So if y'all listening, y'all going to get a little glimpse into her, and y'all know I like to be transparent. So me personally, one goal I set for myself this year was to be able to put at least 3 bills on auto pay. Now that don't seem like a big deal to most folks, but if you could, to me, I feel like you've arrived as an adult if you got a bill or 2 on auto pay. It's a lot of folks that I've talked to like, yeah, I ain't that responsible yet. So if that was one of my goals, Ms. Kim, what would be one of the things that you would tell me like, okay, this is how we're going to achieve that goal?
The first thing I would do is tell you or see if you have a budget. And have all of your bills written down on paper, and to see, calculate your expenses to see, do you have more coming in than going out, or see if you have more going out than coming in. And then I will let you decide which one you think is more feasible to be on auto pay, one that you could set auto pay up for and then not to go back a month later and take it off or skip the payment, because you know what your spending habits are. You know how much you're bringing in, whether it is from your primary income, your side business. So I will allow you to do it, but also stress the fact that when you create your budget, you have to stick to it. And there's one way you'll be professional with keeping those 3 bills on auto pay.
Okay. Throw another curveball at you, Mr. Jerry. As a black man in Memphis, it's a lot of what's the word I want to use? It's a lot of fuck shit in Memphis. And another one of my goals is to start to create some type of vacation fund. I'm not saying, Memphis is great, don't get me wrong, but it's some fuck shit. But be able to create a vacation fund and say, you know what, once or twice a year, I just want to be able to go into my vacation fund and take the family here and not have to come back and worry about, oh, is this bill paid or something like that. So how would you hold somebody accountable if they want to do something like that?
Well, like she said at first, find out, get you a budget established. Your main budget for how your expenditures, for your necessities as well as your desires, that things that you leisure or whatnot, that will fall under leisure. But it can be a necessity because I'm all for it. That's my thing, is getting away, getting out of town. So whether it's just you or you and your significant other, set an amount that you want to, from each pay period, whether you working a job or you're an entrepreneur doing your own business, that you set aside to put in that vacation fund, and don't look at it no more after that. Just that's set aside for that. So as it accumulates, whenever you decide, okay, you decide, well, where you want to go, when you want to go, because that's important, because depending on the time that you're trying to travel and where you want to go, whether it's Vegas or to the islands or what have you, now you got that fund set up of money that you put to the side, just like if you was doing something with your savings. But this is strictly for vacation. And then you just got to be disciplined enough to, when there's other things that come about, like, okay, do I go into this and I can put it back later? No, let me leave that alone. Let me get out here and Uber or do whatever else I need to do, because that's my vacation fund. And you're going to treat your vacation fund just the same way you would treat your savings, for the most part. Because if you start putting it in there and then you decide to start touching it because things that happen, life be lifing, now you won't have it when you're ready to plan a vacation or somewhere you want to go or whatnot.
Okay. So, Ms. Kim, let's take a step back. What got you into, becoming a life coach? Because I know, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm gonna go to this person. I'm gonna get my life together, and they, or I can help you do this." What got you into this work and this realm of work?
Child, my friends. So I have a therapeutic background. I was a residential counselor at a residential facility, and I was a school social worker. And whenever I would tell people that, I said, "Are you a therapist? Can you help?" No, I cannot help you. I work with children. You are not a child. I can refer you to somebody, but oftentimes it would end up being a situation where I'm on the phone, I'm out talking to somebody in public, and we start having a conversation. And then before I know it, I've given them a plan on how to achieve whatever it may be, or I have pointed out something that they deem is the missing piece or something they hadn't thought of. And I did that for a while, but it wasn't until I started working. I was working PRN at a psychiatric facility and working overnight. When things start to slow down, my coworkers and I will be talking about all of these goals and dreams. And before you know it, like, I'm bouncing all over the place. Okay, this is what you need to do first. This is what you do first. And so they was like, "Well, you should do this full time." No, I don't want that responsibility. No, thank you. Like, I just continue to answer y'all phone calls. But the more I sat with it, the stronger the desire came to be. And I think it was like a commercial back when I was like a kid. It was like, "You're sitting on your couch, you're not doing anything." I was literally sitting on my couch, and my friend texted me the ladies program that I use for my certification. And so from there, I was like, "All right, God, well, if this is what you want me to do, send me the money for it." And by the end of the year, I was enrolled in a program.
Send me the money for it, though.
Listen, hey, if he gave me the desire, he'll give me the funds.
Hey, Lord, I come to you as humble as I know how. If you want to guide me on how to get a grant for Herc's World. Put somebody into my space to motivate me and push me to not be lazy to do it. That's me speaking. So we gonna see what happens.
Amen.
This year, what got you into life coaching and speaking and all that good stuff?
The life coaching part, sort of like what she said, with friends who will always ask me for advice. Even some of my friends that were married at the time, you know, and I've never been, but I've got plenty of relationship experience. And it's just me just looking at things the way I look at things. I know there's a duality in life. So you're going to everyone's going to have their opinion. People are going to pick their sides. But I always look at things twofold. Even if I lean more towards one way, I'm still looking at things from both perspectives, both sides. So I had someone tell me, like in early 2015 when I was working on my first book, like, you give pretty good advice. You ever thought about being a life coach? And I used to hear that term all the time. And I was like, yeah, I could do that. You know, I just never really thought about it. And then that planted like a seed in me. And when I looked up a certification program for a certification program out of Virginia online, I did that first one, 2016, and then I came back and did another one, 2019. So I'm really just now really getting it really kicked off because I was doing like what I call pro bono, just doing stuff and wasn't getting paid for it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I went and got these certifications, and it's okay to get paid for something that you can do and that you like doing. And then the speaking part, me being a former educator in the schools, from coaching to teaching to being a behavior specialist, I talk all the time to students, and I've talked at assemblies. I've been on panels, singles panels for men and women and stuff like that. And, you know, I was like, okay, let me turn this gift and use it not only to help people, but it's okay to monetize off your gift. And so here I am.
Say that part again. Say that part where you said it's okay to be paid for your time up.
I mean, yeah, it is. It's okay to be paid for whatever skills, ability that you have that you have naturally, but also that you paid to enhance, whether it's certification or if it's a degree or whatnot. You can help people, but it's okay to be paid for that. And then the right people, God will send to you. The right people would not, you know, be like, okay, well, I know, you know what I'm saying, this and that. No, they're like, okay, they'll realize that just like they'll go pay a stranger, why not pay you if you are able to help them and what, you know, with whatever it is that they may need help with, if you're qualified to do that. So
I like to play with buttons, but no, that's that part specifically. I want y'all to kind of like key in on. If you are hesitant to start that business, or you hesitant to start that podcast, or you hesitant to ask for that raise, or whatever it is, it's okay to be paid for your time and your skills. Like and then, you know, and I always say all the time, like whatever your price is, that's your price. Prime example. Stanley, them Stanley cups that everybody is going crazy over in Target. Them cups usually go for like, I think when they were, before they got popping, they were like $30, maybe $40. Somebody got a hold to them in the marketing department, switched, you know, their target audience, and now they all in Target being used as weapons by the light skin militia. The white skin militia, not light skin. The white skin militia, hitting folks in the head and stuff, but for hundreds of dollars. So yeah, you could go to Target and spend $100 on the Stanley Cup, or your homeboy, your homegirl, your auntie, your cousin, your uncle, whoever, can probably make you that same Stanley Cup. And they've been doing this for X amount of years, just like Stanley has. And it's $30, $40 and it's the same quality. But you're going to go spend $100 because it's at Target. But then going to go ask your cousin or whoever for a discount because that's your cousin. Your price is your price. Your value is your value, y'all. If nothing else, your value is your value. So when I get to the point where it's like, okay, we've eclipsed the goals that we've set for Herc's World, and now I can charge folks whatever to, for commercials or guest spots. I'm not changing that price because my price and my value is my value. So just keep that in mind as y'all are, going through the episode and y'all listening and, you writing down the goals and things that you want to attain in 2024. So we're going to go to break. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. You're listening to Herc's World. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Herc's World. I am your girlfriend's favorite podcast host, Big Hurt. And if she says I'm not, that hoe a liar. We are talking to two certified life coaches, Mr. Jerry and Miss Kim. And they're giving us ways to make ourselves better in 2024. So let's go here. I don't know if either one of y'all work out, but I've been in the gym real heavy since last year. Probably last couple of years. And I know everybody's first resolution is, I'm going to lose 20 pounds or I'm going to lose 10 pounds or I'm going to be in the gym every day or whatever it is. I say this, I'm going to say this the nicest way possible. Please do not be in the gym in my goddamn way because you don't know what you're doing. I know at some point I was that same person. I didn't know what I was doing, and that may sound a little snobbish. Please don't come in these gyms in a way, not knowing how to use, not using the equipment the right way, just in there. Like if you don't understand, like, they got personal trainers, folks willing to help you. Just don't be in the way. That's my only thing for y'all. Like, of course, I want y'all to be healthy. I want y'all to, lose that weight. Get your body snatched. Whatever you're going to do. Just don't be in my damn way, because I have a specific amount of time I try to be in the gym. And if you in there and I'm in there and you hogging up the one machine, I need to finish my set, I'm not going to take too kindly at it. So
At all.
When y'all get people who are trying to on a weight loss journey, do y'all kind of like, hey, like, how do you hold somebody accountable that you kind of like, your ass is not gonna do this? Like, I hear you, but I don't think you're really gonna do this. Like, how would you? I don't want to say deter them, but how would you explain to them, like, I don't think you really gonna stick to that goal? Ms. Kim, you go first.
I wouldn't necessarily say when I approach it that I'm trying to deter them. I'm trying to help them, but mainly I'm trying to keep them out of my way. Because when I'm in the gym at 5:30, I don't need you holding up the squat rack because I got to get to work. But I would definitely talk with them to see what their routine is. What is your plan? What's your schedule? If you are a morning person, what time are you going to get to the gym before you have to get to work? How many days you're going to work out? Are you going to work out with someone? Are you going to look into a trainer? So I would talk to them about their plan initially, and then we'll kind of just dissect it and go. When I started working out about a year ago, I think it was around May, I had the unrealistic expectation of working out 5 days a week at 5 a.m. So
you swung for the fences.
Listen, my friend Ashley psyched me into thinking I could do it. But, it took me about 2 months before I was able to do 3 days a week at 5 a.m. So I had to go back and change it to something that's realistic. And with all of my clients, we're going to create SMART goal. Is it smart? Can you actually do it? Is it attainable with the time? Is it measurable? Is it realistic or relevant? And then is it timely? So if you say that you want to get in a gym, you want to lose 45 pounds in 3 months, and you want to go to the gym every day, do you have the capacity and the capability to do this? With everything that's going on with the rest of your life, with your jobs, if you have kids, if you have a significant other or spouse, can you stick to these goals? And if you can't, what is your contingency plan? And then, if they be like, well, you know what, Kim, you're right. Let's find something that works with me. Then we'll bounce ideas off each other and see what works best for them. Now, if it's somebody who say, I said what I said and I'm going to be in here and I'm going to lose this 45 pounds in 3 months, I said, okay, well, I'm here with you and call me if you need something. So I'm just going to be there to support you, every day. And we're going to take this thing day by day until you get to your 45 pounds in 3 months.
If you're really trying to lose 45 pounds in 3 months, there's only one real way to do that. I cannot tell y'all what it is. Just know
you better not.
Just know it is illegal, and it involves baking soda in a pan. No, so realistically, because I was kind of like that too. I was kind of like, I'm gonna go to the gym every day, and I'm gonna spend, this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I want to say like 3 weeks into it, I was like, yeah, this 7 days a week shit is not gonna work. I'm gonna have to dial it back. Like I gotta do something different. Now there was a time where I did go to the gym every day for like 40 days straight. Like, every day in there, 30 minutes to an hour workouts. I was in there. Cannot do it anymore. Like life was like, yeah, you need to calm down. And then my body was like, hey, we need some rest. Like we appreciate the new motivation, and you starting to look good, but we need some rest. So, once, and I'm gonna be transparent. I never, kind of went through the realistic SMART goals, type deal that y'all have talked about. I just been kind of like, this is what I want to do. This how I'm gonna do it, and let's just see what happens. And I feel like that's why, I don't necessarily achieve most of the goals I have, just because I have not kind of mapped out SMART goals or goal setting like I'm supposed to. I'll do like 3 of the 5 steps and feel like that's enough. Not really understanding like, it's 5 steps to this and you need to do all 5. So Mr. Jerry, in the gym, how do you work out?
Well, when it comes to the gym, man, I'm an ex-athlete. I grew up playing football. I did track just to stay in shape for football, and because of the track girls were fine. but now as a grown man, I try to get in there. I'm getting back into the swing because when I got the podcast started last year, working and everything, I kind of fell off a little bit as much as I would normally go. Now I'm in the process of getting back on it, but when I'm in there, that ex-athlete revives itself and I'm focused. So when when I'm trying to work out, if you're trying to holler at old girl or you're trying to holler at old boy and you in front, excuse me, like, are you? I mean, I don't have no problem with that.
Like, yeah,
I say it in a nice way, but I mean, I'm just going because I'm in there for a certain period of time to get a goal done. I mean, I take in my living room, well, not in my living room, but in my dining room, the 2 players that's hanging up on my wall on the picture. It's Mike and Kobe. So, that type of ferocious motivation, I apply that to anything I do. So, and I apply that to anything I do, whether it's physical, mental, or whatever it may be. So if an individual saying they're going to work out, first of all, I'm going to be like, okay, write down what it is you're trying to achieve, or tell me what it is you're trying to achieve. And then also on the flip side, I've asked them to just be honest with me. What excuses do you make for not doing this? And then if they can't, they tell me what their excuses are, or if they act like they don't know what their excuses are, I'm gonna eventually be able to see it just based off what they say that they're gonna do and then don't do. And it's like, and also with working out, a big portion besides working out is what you eat. If your diet is trash, you can work out as much as you want. You're not gonna get the full potential. So there's a difference between that fruit and them damn little Debbie's. It's the difference between, eating something lean, some lean meat, or eating, going to McDonald's and all that type stuff like that. So you gotta have your diet. You gotta change your diet up slowly but surely. I mean, it's not gonna happen overnight, but it's about progress. So in steps, and then a realistic goal of when you want to work out. I would say don't try to say I'm gonna do it for 5 days and that's gonna really be hard for you. Gradually make it 3. Start out with 3, and if it's just 30 minutes, make that the 30 minutes that you got your music, and everything else is null and void. Stick to that, and once you build that up, then you can pivot and make adjustments as you go. And then as far as your diet, so you start off with little things. Cut back on this, cut back on that, and replace it with something else that's healthy for you that you like, or fix it the way that you like, and then it make it a little easier. But when you just trying to come off the whim and just go cold turkey, very few folks can do that with anything.
He is speaking to my soul right now, just because, and I told y'all to be honest. For the month of January, myself and my gym partners have decided we're not going to eat bread and we're not going to drink liquor. Now, I can go cold turkey off liquor. I've done it. I do it. It's okay. This bread thing, I don't know. Like, so I'm just going to be one, and I'm being honest. Like, I never really I didn't really realize how much bread I eat until I couldn't have it. Because so, and it's a prime example. Like, Bae asked me earlier today, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to go to Subway?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Well, no, I can't eat that." She's like, "Well, yeah, you can." I said, "No, I can't." She said, they can put whatever you want and chop it up in a salad, right? I was like, "Yeah, but I really want a steak. I want a steak and cheese. Like, I don't want steak in a salad. I want a Philly cheesesteak sandwich with the cucumbers and all the other stuff." And she's like, "Yeah, you can't have that." And I was like, "I don't want Subway then." And she's like, you acting hangry right now. I was like, "Cause I am." Like, I ain't had bread in 5 days, and the very first person that probably gonna get slapped, they say something crazy over some bread. But you never realize how much you eat something until you can't have it. So it's just one of them things. It's like, you got to be disciplined. FYI, I've only eaten bread once, and it was a mess up because somebody brought some pizza, and I was like, "Oh shit, I wasn't supposed to eat that." But
that's that pizza. Hey, that's that junk food that I'm like a Ninja Turtle when it comes to pizza. Yeah. But I've learned how to curb it, or try the vegan alternative. But it depends on what it is, because everything is, the taste. And that's what programmed my mind is our taste buds.
Yeah.
But but anything that you take away from yourself, whether it's food or you're not drinking, or even if you for a moment you're trying to abstain from sex, your body and your mind is gonna say you want it. It's like you walk past it, you're like, you're here talking to you. Like damn, I know damn well them Oreos was not just saying something.
Right.
That's happened to me before back in the day. But I mean, that's because you're going against what it is that you naturally like to indulge in, and now it's that discipline factor. You know, and if you fall down, just don't beat yourself up, get back up, but just try to put yourself in a position where you're not continuing to be around whatever it is, you know, that you're trying to go stay away from for a moment. But I understand that, man. It heightens.
Yeah.
I got, what's today? The 7th. We got 28 more days before I can have bread. So I'm gonna tell y'all now, if y'all see me in the street and I look like I'm ready to slap somebody, it's because I ain't had no bread and I really want. Like, it got so bad today. I was like, bruh, I want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I ain't like, and it was just like, I was like, damn. So, but like I said, like the liquor thing, that part is easy for me. I can kind of pick it up and go as I go along. Like back in the day, not the back in the day Marvin or Big Hurt. Oh, that man, he couldn't do that. Now I can kind of pick up and drop the liquor as I want to. But this whole bread thing, y'all keep me near the cross, cause man, like I ain't never seen a peanut butter and jelly sandwich like I was like, damn, that looked good.
But today.
So when setting and Ms. Kim, you talked about setting SMART goals. Will you break down the acronym for SMART one more time for us?
Okay. Because I think I said some letters out of order earlier. So the S is specific, because that word was not going to fight me today. Specific. So that's when you saying exactly what it is that you want to do. So for you, for instance, you're not eating bread for the month of January. So that's a specific goal instead of saying, I'm going to change my eating habits. M, measurable. How can you measure, or how will you be able to tell if you are doing what you say you're going to do? Well, if you know that you haven't picked up any bread and put it in your mouth in the last 5 days or 7 days, then you know that you are working on that plan. A, attainable. Can you actually do this? Is this a goal that you're saying that you're setting up for yourself that you can accomplish? Are you able to stay away from bread? Yes, you make sure that you stay away from Subway and stay away from the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, right? And have something to substitute it with. R is for relevant. Is this a relevant goal for you? Is you not eating bread? Is that a part of a bigger purpose? Not saying, hey, I don't want to eat bread because I like the color orange. That has nothing to do with anything. So, so because it's a part of a bigger goal, you can this step one that you're doing. And T, timely. How long is it going to take you to do this? You already said just for the month of January. Some people say, yeah, for the first half of the year, I'm not going to drink. Okay.
Y'all do realize
day 3,
that,
they don't have.
Yeah, like, so unreal, like, so, and let's talk about that time thing with drinking. Y'all do realize that the first part of the year has New Year's Day, Valentine's Day, and Mardi Gras, and St. Patrick's Day in it. You gonna drink.
Now that's just one half of the people, because there's also another half of the people. I done had a long day at work today. Sally Sue had one more time to cross that line, and she crossed it 3 times. So I'm about to go to the happy hour and get a drink, so I won't do nothing to her. You better go do some meditation and calm down, because Sally Sue done made you mad. Put the bottle down, put the cup down,
Go to the gym. Just don't be in the way. But go to the gym.
Go at 5 p.m.
now you've really been in the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, so listen, I started off at 5 a.m., right?
Okay.
Then 5 a.m. went to 5:30, and then 5:30 went to 5:45. So typically, if I cannot be there by 5:45, I usually don't go.
I mean, because let's be honest, I called myself last year trying to do 2-a-days. That means waking up at 4:30 in the morning, going to the gym, then coming home, taking a shower, taking one kid to the bus stop, making sure the other kid was going on the way to school, working 8 hours, then turning around, leaving work to be at the gym by 5:30, working out for another hour and a half, driving home, not getting home until like 8 o'clock, trying to find something to eat at 8 o'clock at night, which is really ass backwards, and then going to sleep about 10:30 to wake up and do it all over again. Not realistic at all.
Not at all.
It was fun.
And even for people, was it? Okay.
For the first 4 days, it was fun. That 5th day, I was like, man, look.
And you have to be realistic. Right. Because if you, let's just say, anybody who has to be at a physical job between the hours of 8 a.m. and 9 a.m., to even set the goal to get up at 4:30, anywhere before 7 o'clock, to get up and be out of the house and be active to exert energy, it's going to take a whole lot of willpower, a whole lot of pre-workout, and a whole lot of accountability. The days that I skip the gym would be the days my accountability partners didn't go. The days that they call me at 5 o'clock and say, "Are you up?" are the days that I got up and go. So you have to make sure that you have things in place to help you reach those goals, because you can't do it alone.
Well said. So, Mr. Jerry, let's piggyback off that. How do you feel, or how do you teach or coach somebody to pick a realistic accountability partner? Because I feel like a lot of these, you can set goals for yourself. And, most of the goals are, something that you want to do. But how would you coach somebody to pick a realistic or a good accountability partner?
Well, I would tell them that they need to find an individual that with some like-minded goals like themselves. I mean, that's just off the top. That's even when you're, trying to date somebody or in a relationship or whatnot. You're gonna have your differences, but the key is what are your commonalities. So if you're gonna have an accountability partner, they need to have some commonalities with you. And also, they may be a little stronger in the area that you're not, and you vice versa with them. So then that's how it'll mesh. Because if you like, I'm not sure I want to do this, and they be like, shit, you know what? I'm not sure I want to do it either. And then, that after a while, y'all not going to get a whole lot accomplished. Somebody going to be like, hey, I know it's rough. Trust me, but we got to do this. Come on, let's look at the bigger picture. We talking about doing this or going to do that. And so, and I'm all in. You said you was all in, right? If you got someone that's like that really got your back, your best interest, then, you'll push through. But if it's somebody, every time you be like, I'm not sure I want to do this. You're right, man. Shit, I ain't either. And, let's just go ahead. No, you don't want that. With anybody, accountability partner for the gym or just in life in general. So that accountability person, you all have some commonalities, but then maybe they're stronger in the area that you're not, in certain areas, and vice versa. So when it's them and you won't be the one that be like, yeah, you're right, man, let's just skip that. No, you'll be like, come on now, let's get it. Because everybody wants the action of being successful, but not many want to put in the work 100. Everybody that buzzword hustle, but when you putting in hustle comes with sweat equity, literally sweat and mentally sweating. So and everybody don't want to do that, but they want to shine, but they don't want to grind. It don't work that way.
Oh yeah.
Dropping fucking knowledge, ladies and gentlemen. We gonna go to break. We gonna get into some messiness. Cause at Hertz, on Hertz World, we like to be motivating, but we also like to be messy. And 2024 has already given us a lot of mess. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Hurts, where I am your girlfriend's favorite podcast host, Big Hurt. And if she says I'm not, she ain't got no edges. Folks said that was worse than, huh?
I was like, can you retire that? Can you put that in the closet? Don't say that no more.
What? No edges?
Yeah, girls be in the uproar about them edges.
Well, see, Ashley said the same thing, and I was like, well, y'all don't. So, okay, let's be honest. I said she ain't got no edges. Y'all was like, that ain't right. But then I said, well, she's a hoe. That ain't right either. So I gotta say something bad. It can't just be like, oh, nothing. So either you're gonna have to lose the edges, or you're gonna have to be a walker of the night. You gotta find some balance, or somebody needs to give me a new tagline. I'm taking suggestions.
That's one of your goals, to come up with the new tagline before season 5 is halfway done.
If we start on season 6 next week, so we'll try before the end of season 6.
Okay.
So before we went to break, I told y'all it's gonna get messy. Now, unless you've been living under some type of rock, or you just don't care about social media, or you don't even watch TV, you would probably not know that Cat Williams went on Club Shay Shay and dropped not one, not two, not three, probably about 10 different bombs about some of your favorite comedians. Now, I've watched clips, I've watched bits and pieces of the interview. I've been on social media. Nobody really said Cat was lying about anything he said. I'm not in that entertainment industry, so I don't really know. What I do know is Cat Williams lied about a couple other things. Ain't no way in hell you got accepted to college at 7 years old. Ain't no way in hell you read 3,000.
I thought it was 13.
No, he said 7 with a straight face. Ain't no way you read 3,000 books in a year. I just don't see Cat Williams reading that. And I don't know too many 52-year-old men that are running 4 flats. That look like Cat Williams. I do know you got your ass whooped by a young dude, but like a teenager. So if that was the case, why didn't you run from him? But that's not my business. My question to y'all, and whoever wants to go first can answer. If you are Cat Williams' life coach, one, are you asking for a raise? And two, how would you tell him to navigate the rest of 2024?
You can, ladies first. Go ahead.
Oh, I would say, let me know when the check clears so I can get my cut. But, all right, so because no one has come out to say that he was lying on all of the name dropping bombs that he said, right? I would just, I don't know what I tell him, because, I'm all for, speaking to, and he stated that everybody that he named said something to him first, don't do tit for tat. He seems to be a person who does not care. My thing would be, make sure that you're not putting yourself in a position to be in that limelight next week, right? So you went on the club park showcase, Shay, whatever the dude name with the big old teeth. You went and you talked and you did
not big old teeth.
You went and
you can't talk about Uncle Shay like that. His teeth is big as hell.
He seems. I'm finna say he seems to be a real life man, but you can't tell me you're not drawn to his teeth every time he opens his mouth. But I would just say to make sure that you're not in a position for anyone to come and put you in that hot seat, right? And you have to also be prepared for whatever is going to come next. He started talking about like some real heavy stuff, about the people in the high places that do all the horrible things. So you have to be ready for whatever is going to come behind that. We all know that those type of people don't play fair. You can't put your mouth on certain people, whether you were telling the truth or lying. So just make sure that you are prepared for whatever comes next. But next time, at least let me know before you go do something like that. Having everybody calling my phone.
That's a good answer. I would say this. Yeah, I want the check to clear because my cut needs to come. But he said a lot of gems that went over some people's heads. Some of the things he said, I believe, is valid, and there's been receipts that's shown on social media. And then, of course, there was some things that was exaggerated or just maybe not true at all. And that's with anybody though. Like some of the comedians he talked about, I'm a fan of, but just because what people do is just because you're a fan of somebody, people tend to put people on pedestals, and you're not perfect. You've done things in your life that you've not always been proud of. So what makes you not think certain folks in entertainment, and politics and ministry and anything else are not doing certain things? And so he said things over the years to that effect about certain people, and certain things have come out with other people saying things about certain people, from Diddy to a lot of other folks even. And so I don't have a problem with him telling his side, because I watched Club Shay Shay. I've been a fan of the podcast for over a year now. Being a podcaster myself, there's certain podcasts that I do listen to regularly. And Shannon Sharp, I was a fan of his as an NFL player, so I watch his podcast. And I saw the episodes with Steve Harvey, with what Ricky Smiley, which said, and the things that they said, and they didn't say things in a ferocious manner as Cat, but everybody's personality is different. That's not to excuse or diffuse anything. Everyone is different, but they said some things, and then when you line up the joke, and I forgot, and I grew up watching Comic View, but I had forgot he had done that on Comic View. But I remember when Sid did it on Kings of Comedy. Yeah. So when they show it side by side, it was. And if Sid, like he said, came to him whenever it was and was like, hey man, da 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 da, but then you should that should still been the same way. Don't years later act like this man is just making that up or whatnot. And I still like Sid, and Sid still got funny specials. He's definitely got TV shows that has lasted, so that part was exaggerated. But that doesn't mean Sid didn't do that.
Right.
So it's one of those things where people have gotten in an uproar because if he said something about someone who they admire more, they felt some kind of way. But he dropped some gems on a lot of things that are happening. Because let's be real, even though we're not in Hollywood, but we know that there's a level of satanic type nonsense going on. There's a level of folks doing perversion stuff just to get ahead. I mean, everybody can't be lying now. You got Cassie, everybody be saying about my boy 50, but 50, he exposes a lot of these folks. You had Taraji speak on Oprah with Color Purple.
Taraji,
but I mean, it's like, and then Christian Keys saying what he has said. He hadn't named the person, but come on, we kind of know what he's talking about. But time will tell. So is everybody lying on everybody that's powerful? It's one of those things. It's one of those things where the truth will come out. If they are slandering somebody's name, then they should be held accountable. But if it's true, just because someone is powerful and they may have helped some people, but they're doing some underhanded stuff, you still got to be held accountable. That's how I look at that.
Right.
But like I said, human nature says people will take sides to who they're partial to, and be like, he just. But so like I said, he said some things that I think were valid and that have shown to be valid, and he exaggerated on some things. And my thing is this: the only thing that I really didn't care for, other than because I like the gems he dropped on the interview, was when he started speaking about those guys' wives. Because, as a man, you don't speak about somebody's wife or children, no matter if you got an issue with that individual. That's the only thing I didn't like. But the other stuff that he was saying, as far as some of the gems he dropped, I was like, okay, Cat's a smart dude now. He did this masterfully because everyone's talking about him. And Shannon Sharp's podcast has reaped the benefit of that big time. But people are going to pick their sides, and time will tell. But some things have already shown on what actually lines up and what's not. And you know, I'm a fan of Luda, and he made Luda come out and do a diss track. So, and when you know they say a hit dog will holler, we'll see what's true and what's not.
Right.
So
that man done dropped the whole EP on TikTok.
Right. So let me say this. Cassie opened up the floodgates for all this to happen. Diddy paid her way too damn fast for it not to be true. I'm not gonna say nothing about Bishop T.D. Jakes until they say anything, because I don't need no church folk coming for me. If that's what he look, we'll find out sooner or later, because we gonna find out. But thank y'all for giving us the word Bucci Cat. Okay, this is TD. Luda dropped the diss track. Said you stole that joke. Ricky Smiley, please get off IG crying because you look it looked bad. Brandon T. Jackson, nobody was talking to you. Shut up. And who else? Oh, I think that's it. Cause like I mean, there like you said, there are a lot of similarities on everything that Cat said.
Yeah, because Steve hasn't said anything yet. Steve Harvey, at least I haven't seen anything.
It's coming.
You know, he probably wanted to wait. He probably wanted to wait. If he's going to say something, he probably didn't want to do it this week because, I would have thought he would have said something on his show this week and he hadn't, because it would have showed on IG or something else. But, that stuff about Bernie, that's been out. That's been out years ago if you're a person that followed that. So that had validity on at least part of that. But what I didn't realize was the whole, and I was a fan when I was in college at TSU of watching the Steve Harvey show was said, and I remember looking at a little bit of Hanging with Mr. Cooper, but I never paid attention to the similarities until they brought it about, and I was like, whoa. So I mean, it's some things that was not made up. Some things he exaggerated on may have made up, but it was a lot that he didn't. And folks just got to be able to pull for what wasn't and accept that, whether it's somebody you're a fan of or not, and then what was exaggerated or just a stretch or made up, then you reason as a human being like, okay, he just made that up. But it's some things that like stuff is just like, wow, like for real. And so it is what it is. I think, he did a masterful job of coming on there and he lit it up. And he told his side because he watched all of them come on there. So when he got his chance, he came full clip loaded. Yeah. Shannon was like,
yeah.
So,
Ms. Kim, what were you going to say?
So, okay. So don't shoot me, but I am one who often likes to look at things from another side. Okay. So when it comes to stealing of material, we've been, and I say we loosely, or people recycle things all the time, right? Somebody does it, then other people might give it some time, or they may just go ahead and take it, right off the bat. And so they do it, it may blow up, all of these things. So what would be the difference? Because there are a lot of things, there are a lot of shows, there are a lot of songs, whatever it may be, that has been done before by someone else.
It's the manner that you go about doing it. Like if someone samples someone's song, they got to get permission for it. And if you're gonna do the same thing with a joke, okay, you done stole or took someone's joke or whatnot, but don't act like you didn't do that. I mean, I think he was okay with the fact whatever he said a long time ago, and he thought it was squashed. But then years later, as he ascended to bigger, he was like, "What are you talking about? I didn't do it." You know, that makes anyone feel like, hold up, man, you just so it's a matter of how people do things. Because in the music industry, if you sample someone's music, then you know there's some merit or royalties or permission you gotta get for that. If you don't,
They're
you know,
gonna
then
sue
it's
you.
gonna be repercussions regarding
Yeah.
that. So, you know, even though it's a joke, we may think, but then this is what they do as a profession. So it's just a matter of common courtesy. And no matter how big you are over another person, far as in that field, you gotta be respectful. And I still admire those guys, but they did some stuff that wasn't cool.
Yeah.
And instead of just owning up to it, you acting like, hey, he on drugs and this and that. Whether that was true or not, you don't do that to people. And Cat came out
Right.
swinging like Creed on them. He
Man.
did.
That man threw some haymakers.
Even on Jonathan Majors with the situation with the white girl, man.
Yeah, he was like, so when did y'all start making ugly dudes popping again? You know, because y'all was just like, you know, some of y'all was like, oh my God, Jonathan Majors is so fun. And some of y'all, and I was like, that nigga ain't cute.
I think it's just because he look a little buff. That's it.
That's it. It was because he was next to Michael B. Jordan, and he had them muscles.
That ain't no comparison though.
They was well, you know, that was his brother. He was bigging up his brother. And they had the muscles, and he was showing his feminine side, and you know, y'all fell for that. I don't know why.
They.
Yo, because you know, y'all boy Michael ain't, you know.
Wait a minute now.
This
show has been going wet.
He out here crashing cars.
It wasn't his fault. He was sleeping. Next question.
Out here crashing cars. Speaking of other social media things, before we go to break, I said I wasn't gonna say nothing about Bishop T.D. Jakes, and I'm not. Butch Cat. But there was another viral video this week, and let's just say the sanctuary of the church turned into a club. There's a viral video where the congregation of a church in Atlanta is swag surfing in the sanctuary. Now, I'm not the most religious person. I don't go to church like I need to, like I should. But if we gonna be swag surfing and all that in the congregation, I might need to make an appearance. What y'all think about swag surfing at church?
Don't go.
Why not? We can swag and you surf with Jesus.
So, I mean, we can. However, so I'm gonna start by saying this. I'm in school getting my doctorate degree, right? In social work. So in my class last semester, I watched a video from somebody in the field, and they talked about intent over impact. And I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to this situation. Was it necessarily wrong to swag surf or walk it out, like doing the actual moves? I can't say yes, I can't say no, because if that's the case, you can say these people need to stop running around like they doing home runs. However, you know, that's not the point. I think what makes it bad is the lyrics, like, you know, the lyrics to the song. I'm on hypnotic, exotic. Walk it out, bend your back low. She doing that. Y'all could have had the instrumentals to that, right? And I seen, I went to college with some people who attend that church, so I was very much so reading their responses and everything and talking about the people that got saved and all of that. You know, okay, 150 people got saved. So then I went over to the Clock app, right? Because TikTok tell you everything you need to know. But it was one young lady who made a very valid point. A lot of times when you get to that point of your service to where you open up the doors of the church and you're calling people to join church, that is a very emotional moment for a lot of people. So if I'm in that moment and I am crunk off swag surfing and hypnotic and all of this stuff, when I go down there, I'm going down there off the emotion that, hey, this is a cool environment and I can literally be myself here. So what's going to happen when today being first Sunday, or when first Sunday comes, they get to church and they've been singing Amazing Grace all day. This ain't what they signed up for. So are you going to keep them there? You know, my pastor today in his sermon, like he touched on it very briefly. And he said, you know, doing tricks to get people in there, you're going to have to do tricks to keep them there. So what are you going to do now? Because you didn't get them in there by saying, you know, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. You know, you got them in there saying, come on, let's swag surf, right? So it's your intent may have been good. You know, you're getting the people out the club and in church on New Year's, everybody having fun, nobody's inebriated. The intent was good, but the impact, not so much. And he was, swag surfing in the pulpit. When I was younger, I couldn't stand in the pulpit. If I needed to get somewhere close, I had to walk around because that was a sacred place, right? And for the people that say, well, you know, the church is just the building, the people are the church.
You about to step on some toes. You about to step on some toes. I already see it.
The people that are the church made the decision to go on there and dance and gyrate, as I would say, but dance to those lyrics. And then when it comes out, you say, I bet you can't out soul win me. You don't know where them folks all going because they ain't dead yet. We ain't at the pearly gates. You don't know where they soul go. So how you know you don't want their soul? You do know that your offering was big that weekend, or you do know your account was big that day. That's what we do know. Those can be facts, but you don't know where their souls are going. So you can't say that. What does the Bible say? In the Bible, Jesus went in there and flipped over tables because they were selling stuff in the temple.
True.
What you think Jesus would have did? Because they in there walking it out.
Okay. Okay. So he did. I do know that he did flip tables, and you know, because they was selling stuff in the church, and I have heard that some people have ATMs inside their church, and you know, you can cash out the church now, you know, for your tithes and offering. But what was Jesus's first miracle?
Oh, child.
I'm just saying he turned water into wine. That was his first miracle.
Where was he? Where was he?
I think he was at a wedding, right?
Okay, he was at a wedding.
He was at a wedding, but he still did it.
He did.
You know, I mean,
were the people drunk at the wedding? Did the people get drunk at the wedding? Because a lot of people will argue with you and say that the Bible does not talk about drinking. The Bible talks about being drunk.
That is true. That also means that there, if nothing else from this conversation, there's a time and a place for everything.
For everything.
Do you?
And let me just put this disclaimer out there. I'm not a theologian. I have not been in seminary school, so I don't need any overly sanctified saints to come at me because I'm still dying to my flesh daily every day. So I just want to put that out there as a disclaimer.
I'm gonna come behind you and say, yeah, if y'all get to this part of the episode and I said anything you don't like about Jesus Christ, go to hell. Because you can't judge me and only Jesus can. So if you got something negative to say, fuck you in the horse you rode in on. I don't know. Just give your side opinion.
I'm just listening to what y'all saying, and you know, the same disclaimer. I would say sort of like what you said, the disclaimer part, but let's look at it like this. People trip over semantics. Now, I heard about this. I haven't really seen the clip of it to my knowledge, but I've heard about it. But I just thought like they done with a lot of gospel songs and remix it from secular songs. I just thought it was the instrumental. It wasn't the actual verbatim song. Now, if it's the instrumental, and you in the when you're doing the gospel today, you know, people people. It's really about the religiosity of everything. People have these religion bylaws and laws. They feel like how folks did or went to church in the 70s and 80s is not the same way that it is now. Now, we're still serving the same God, but it's not the same way. Back then, as far as music-wise, you had a 8-track in the 70s, and then in the 80s and early 90s, it was cassettes to CDs, and now you have streaming services for music. So, but people still put their music out there. Well, the same thing with worship. I know there's been songs that I've attended church before where it's been songs that was of a secular nature, R&B nature, that someone flipped into a gospel song, and the lyrics change. And so
they do that all the time.
Yeah. So with that being said, people who are just so strict religious wise, but not spiritual, because there's a difference between being religious and being spiritual.
Right.
But now, if someone really actually just took a secular song with the same lyrics and did all that in church, that's a little bit extreme. You may have gotten some folks engaged, but I'm not here to judge, but I would be like, whoa, wow, that's But once again, the whole goal of is, as folks say, is try to win souls over for Christ. But there is a manner. People gonna have their picks and chooses of the manner that it should be done. But what I do know is being overly religious and judgmental is never a good way. You know what I'm saying? Because don't act like you didn't do something before, or you still have done something after you claim that you got Christ in your life. And that witness turns a lot of people away from church when someone be like, oh, you ought not do this. And then come find out later on you cheating on your wife or your husband, or you embezzling stuff, or you dealing with drugs or whatnot. That happens a lot in our communities, in our churches. And people, once again, it goes back to what I said at the beginning. People put folks on pedestals, and you can't put your pastor or whomever up on a pedestal, because they're still an individual. This is not excusing any wrongdoing, but we all in this flesh, so we all are capable or have sin. But like if someone is just really taking it to the extreme and it has no God in it, then I would be like, whoa, that's a bit much. But you find ways to reach people where they are, meet people where they are, because Jesus he hung with the tax. He went where the tax collectors and the folks were. People like to cherry pick the Bible, and I have a problem with that. Yeah. To fit their narrative, their agenda, and then they wonder why people I don't want to come to that church because you being judgmental.
Right. Well, I'm gonna get you a little clip. Y'all may be able to hear it on the microphone, but if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna show you.
Talking about showing a small portion of the church's New Year's Eve service where the congregation was swag surfing in the sanctuary. So the video received some mixed reviews. Some for it, and
now
saying this does not belong in church.
So it was just instrumental?
Well, no, it was the actual song. It was the actual song. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the actual video.
I know the biggest thing I would say is the folks who are criticizing is what have they done to folks who are not struggling with their faith with God, or who are not coming to church. What have they done to do? Because people love to point the finger, but then they're not doing anything. That would be something that I would say. But
yeah, I definitely agree. You can't sit at home on the couch or bedside Baptist, and you're not involved. You're not doing anything to advance the kingdom. But if you're condemning somebody else, that is not right.
Yeah.
And if we're gonna be 1,000% on, that's why I don't say nothing, just because I know I'm a faithful member of bedside Baptist, and I'm there every Sunday. So, I don't have any bearings on saying, well, you did this, so you shouldn't do that. I just thought that it was interesting. And now that yeah, it was at church, but it was like like the clip said, it was a New Year's Eve type of gathering for whatever. And he called it swag surfing into 2024. Trying to find a decent video to show.
So, and like I said earlier,
Let's go.
If we could,
let's go where we supposed to go. Let's go to TikTok. Go ahead.
Okay. But if you focus solely on the actual dancing, then people can very well say those people who get the Holy Ghost every Sunday, those who run around the church every day, then there's no place for church or whatever. But my personal take on it is you could have found the clean version, or you could have found the instrumental version, because being on hypnotic, exotic. And I think also that kind of goes a little bit into the fact that a lot of times in a lot of songs that we listen to, we're pretty much focused on the beat, and the beat makes us feel good and we dance to the beat and everything, and we don't necessarily pay attention to the words. So, I mean, it could have been one of those moments. They know that anytime you hear the little scratch and say, man, I got that, everybody's going to jump up and be shoulder to shoulder or whatever the case may be. So they know what gets the crowd going.
And that's all it takes. It takes, man, I got the, and you know what's about to happen. So, was it one of them things you should do? Probably not. But it is what it is. Let's see.
So it was the regular version, y'all saying, of the song.
Yes.
You see that? And we're gonna try to get the video, for YouTube purposes, but this is what they. And they like some young saved folks. Ain't nothing wrong with this. What? Now, sister Ethel out there swag serving too.
Nice sister.
Sister Ethel's out there.
Well, what I would say with that is, okay, they did that at church. They had church on New Year's Eve night. How many folks? Because we're at a lot of folks. If they wasn't at church, they was probably at a club. Club is gonna be a whole lot of other stuff going on than swag surfing. So, like I said, once again, people are gonna find a fault with any and everything. Now, if there's a regular version of the song, and I would find it hard why they couldn't find the clean version. But okay, if they didn't, that's fine. But folks are in church when they could have been out somewhere else doing other stuff. So, you look at it from whatever your perspective is, or whatever your intent, motive, or agenda, or whatever. Folks have their own things or whatnot. So just like someone can put the negative spin on that, and that's all they see, someone else can put the positive spin on it, because these folks were in church, and and they on New Year's Eve, and that's the clip that went viral. It's not showing the part when he's preaching, or when folks are coming maybe to the altar praying, or whatever the case may be. And that's just how it is out here with anything in life. I mean, I'm not gonna say what's this, depending on what you believe or not, but that's the thing we have in our society, especially with our people, with all people. But I'm just speaking towards for Black folks. If it's just one thing that they can find wrong with something, that's going to be magnified. Anything that's not, that's good, unless it's the person or something that they favor, it's quiet. But the part that they don't like, it gets loud. But if it's somebody they favor, then they ready to defend. It's like, come on now, let's not be biased now. You entitled to your opinion and how you feel, but who are you to condemn anybody to anything? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though some people do it consciously and sometimes they do it subconsciously. And so I just, it amazes me what some people do or say. But yeah, I had heard about it. Now I finally see it. But I figured it was they did the instrumental and they was just. But obviously someone either couldn't find it at that point in time that night or whatever the case may be. But
oh no,
that clip,
they lit.
yeah,
they
Yeah.
lit in the
Yeah.
church.
and of all places, Atlanta. So if it's anywhere like
That's another thing.
yeah, if it's Atlanta, Houston, Memphis, somewhere where there's a highly concentration of black folks and a lot of stuff that goes on daily, far as crime, drugs, and anything else. It's gonna hit the internet. Someone's gonna find some way to make sure that and try to make it as a depiction of everything of that, and that's not.
Exactly.
But that's what happens out here. That's not to excuse anything, but at the same time, it's not to. They'll make it a depiction of anything and everybody, like they try to do in Memphis. And it's like, well, everything in Memphis is not bad.
It's not.
What I'm saying? But what's magnified is what is, and it's put out there. And I just be like, okay, you feed into a narrative to create a depiction of a whole community or a whole group of people, which that's not the case. That's the only problem I have sometimes with us is that we'll do that. Like, and it's like, that's not cool. That's not cool at all.
Well, I'll say this. You can't really judge nobody because that's not your place. God has the final say in whatever you do. If you want to go church swag surf, go ahead. You don't like swag surf and walking it out, then you ain't got to deal with it. If you want to make something go viral, make Herc's World go viral because we need the views and we need the check. We gonna go to break just because we got to do that. So if you got something to say or you one of them overly sanctified folks in the comments, go to hell. We'll be back. Welcome back to Herc's World. I am your girlfriend's favorite podcast host, Big Hurt. And if she says I'm not, she swag surfing church. That better? Was that better?
It's better.
Okay.
Yes.
She swag surfing church. We have come to my favorite part of the show, and it is songs you should not have been singing as a kid. Last week, it was Put It In Your Mouth by, I can't think of the name of the group, but y'all know the song. And YouTube flagged the video for copyright. I don't know why. I only played a snippet, but whatever. But that was last week's song. So while I try to find this week's song, we'll start with Kim. What is one song for a fact? I'm talking about like you knew the words word for word. You sang full out, but good and damn well you should not have been singing as a kid or as a young adult.
Oh, child. It's a whole heap of them, as the whole old people say. One was that song by RL Next or something. I wonder if she could tell right now that I'm getting hard. So wait, what? And I wasn't until I was past 25 till I realized what he was talking about. Just recently, this one isn't as bad, but Candy Burris, when she was a singer, she made a song, Don't Think I'm Not. And I was in the car and I was just singing and rocking. And why was I at 11 years old hollering about I'm catching a bone while he dogging me? What does that even mean?
I've never heard it. I need to listen to that. I've never heard it.
Her man was cheating on her and she got him. But,
okay.
That Ludacris song, him and Shauna.
Give me some head.
I don't know. Yeah, What's Your Fantasy?
What's Your Fantasy? Okay.
Yes, that one right there, child.
Okay. Too Close, the Candy Bird song, and What's Your Fantasy?
Yeah.
Mr. Jerry, what you got?
I'm a little bit old school. I'm gonna say NWA, like Police. Man, I was Cube, boy. Also, 2 Live Crew.
Oh,
Hey, we want, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So that's
Okay.
you know.
I'm not gonna play this. I really want to play the song, but I really don't want YouTube to mute the video. We'll figure it out. But this week's song, you should not have been singing as a kid, is, y'all will know it when y'all hear the beat drop. And if you're watching this on YouTube, y'all see his reaction. If y'all don't know what that is Nice and Slow by Usher Raymond himself. I don't know what I was thinking, but I knew every word to Nice and Slow. Didn't know nothing about what he was really talking about. I just knew it's 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop top. And if you listen to if you listen to like the beginning, it's like, damn, this nigga is talking about sex, and you don't even know it. Well, you knew it, but
Yeah, I knew it.
Right, the older folks knew it, but as a kid, I was like, yeah, man, this shit slap. So, Nice and Slow is a song you should not have been listening to as a kid. Go back down memory lane, listen to Nice and Slow. Also, if you don't know what time Usher was cruising down the street, you might be too young to listen to Herc's World. Just saying. We going to break. We'll be right back with more Herc's World. Welcome back to Herc's World. I am your girlfriend's favorite podcast host, Big Herc, and if she says I'm not, that whole life. Anyway, this is the part of the show where I give the guests the opportunity to tell the people where you can be found if you want to be found, what you got coming up, and a quote you live by. So, Miss Kim, spotlight's on you, ma'am.
I am Kimspiration. So when you want to connect with me, you can follow me on Instagram with I am.Kimspirations. I am.KIMSPIRATIONS. See what I did there? I am Kimspirations. On TikTok, I am Kimspirations as well. Or you can go to my website, www.IamKimspirations.com.
What you got coming up?
Follow me and stay tuned.
And a quote you live by.
So, because I am a therapist and because I am a life coach, it changes. So, for this season of my life, it is, if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Okay. Mr. Jared, what you got?
Okay, you can follow me at Life Coach Jerry Davis on IG. That's Life Coach Jerry Davis on IG, on Facebook, and as well as on TikTok. And far as you can go to Linktree/Jerry Davis for any of my services or to book me as a speaker or anything like that. What I got coming up next will be going into my second season of my podcast with my co-host Erica Jackson, CAP, which stands for Cultivate, Accumulate, Prosper. We're on all streaming sites, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. The first season is already in the books. We ended it last year, so definitely check that out. And I'm also will be coming out with my third book. My first 2 books on Amazon, 5 Dimensions of a Man. That's faith, family, business, love, and self. But this next book I will be coming out with is a fictitious story of two guys dealing with love from a man's perspective. And a quote that I live by that I say at the end of my at the end of every episode of my podcast is, if you're gonna be anything, be for real.
Very well said. We didn't get too in depth into goal setting, just because, for the simple fact that we gave y'all we scratched the surface. We scratched the surface just a little bit so that you can reach out to these individuals, so that you can go get motivated and get the help that you're gonna need setting these goals and these realistic things that you're trying to achieve in 2024. I can give y'all some of the sauce, but I can't give it to you. I can't give you all of it. Because at the end of the day, this is what these people do for a living. And if you want the help, go get it. It's out there. What do I got? We're wrapping up season 5. So this is going to be the season finale of Herc's World for season 5. Season 6 will start next week. Told y'all we're going to do a series of, trying to be better in 2024. So this is like part 1. Part 2 and 3 will more than likely be getting on your financial goals, trying to get those fitness goals for real. And, we'll try to, do the male perspective and the female perspective when it comes to, fitness, just because we train differently. Girls got way more different, body goals than guys do. Because if you leave it up to me, if I lose some of this stomach and I get a bigger chest, I'm gonna be out here in these streets with no shirt on, and then Bay gonna try to fight. I don't need them type problems. But some of y'all women may be out here trying to get a dump truck to get that dude you've been trying to get. Some of y'all may want to get tighter legs, or make it like you had a BBL but you really didn't. Whatever your goal is, Herc's World is gonna try to help you achieve that in 2024. As always, commercial spot start at $25. If you need to promote your business or your event or anything you got coming up, email me at hercsworld24@gmail.com. I will send you the information needed. We will cut you a commercial. We will cut you a commercial. We will play it on the podcast, and we may or may not get you a commercial on YouTube that somebody else may make for us, who is also our mini mix sponsor. She gave me a look like, don't put that shit on me. I'm not doing that. Make sure you follow our mini mix sponsor and support BTM Memphis. That is bigger than me, bigger than me. Business Solutions. www.btmbs.com. Make sure that you go go to the website, get the code, support, for the content studio. If you need a virtual office, virtual mailbox, go to the website, tell her Herc sent you. She's not going to give you a discount, but she may tell you what to do, if that makes sense. I don't know. As always, if you don't work, you don't eat. You got to crawl for you can walk for you can run, and run before you can fly. I am your girlfriend's favorite podcast host. And to the next time you see my face and hear my voice, Herc out.
It's a new year. Time to start that business you've been talking about. Let BTM Business Solutions and Social Studio help you out with virtual office services like co-working space, business formation assistance, conference and event space, and content studio rental, which includes a fully equipped studio. Log on to btmbs.com right now and sign up for the email list to receive codes for $25 off virtual office services and $15 off conference and event space and studio rentals. Need more info? Call 901-490-7995. BTM Business Solutions and Social Studio.